The following is a production of the Dallas Genealogical Society. For more information, please visit our website at dallasgenealogy.com.
And once you copy it, you paste it into your, where you put an email. So like I'm going to open a new window and copy this URL and paste it over here and take the period out because you don't want the period. And it said invalid request. Well, it's supposed to work. So it didn't have everything on there. Oh, here's another one. There's they had two actually. There's an ancestry.com one too. You see, this is the same database both at Ancestry and on Family Search. So, but I can't get to it from here. But I think if I click on this, it's going to take me to the search, and this will populate. So Family Search, once you do that, it will populate, and you can go in then and work Family Search. There's the image. And if you click this, it'll open in a new window. The only way it doesn't open in a new window is if you have this blue box that pops up here, and it goes, this image is somewhere in this book. This may not take you to the right place. Then you need to right mouse click on the link and open it in a new window. Otherwise, it will open on top of this window and you lose your search. And you don't want to lose your search. So that's a marriage record for Clarence and Margaret. Social Security death index, it's not going to give me anything. Of course, Find a Grave is here. Find a Grave is going to pop up in both Ancestry and Family Search. So you can get that information. And there's no family information on Find a Grave. Find a Grave is great for clues, but don't take what's written there for granted. I have several families that people have put stuff out on, and it's wrong. You will find children that are not their children. They were born before the mother was born, or something crazy like that. And I have one that there are multiple people with the same name in Virginia at the same time, but they were in different parts of Virginia, and I can prove it. And they have this person linked to the wrong parents. Anyway, that's several things right there on him. Here he is on the 1900 census with his father. I go on and open these in a new window. There he is in 1880. I always start with Family Search if I can, because it's free. And if you're just getting started in this makes it a whole lot nicer for you. All right, some of these people are not going to help you. You can go over to collections and you can see how many hits there are in different places. They show the top 5, but you can click on the rest of it and get the rest of this information. Now here I have genealogy bank, but I don't know if this is actually going to be anything that I can use. It doesn't tell me where he died or dates or anything. So I'm going to say no. So I'm going to go back to collections. The back button doesn't work in this. But I do have him in Florida deaths. This is not going to be him though, because there's no date. That's the way you can tell if the record is for him or for a child, is if they don't have dates. And of course, there's a Texas marriage book. And since we know from the son's record, Marguerite was his wife. And did I already do that one? No. I think I did. Yes, I did. I thought I did the wife. Oh, there it is. Okay. The easiest way to work it is to go to collections, because if you have however many hits they said they had, that's a little overwhelming to anybody and everybody. Oh, well, this is interesting. Oh, that's just Gonzales County. But they're showing him in, there's a 1930. Let's see if this is him. It didn't work, sorry. 1930. Well, I don't see Clarence in there. So go back to collections and 1940. And there again, he's not there. So he's an enigma because I can't find him. We have to do some real searching. Anyway, he was old enough to be in World War II or World War I draft registration. But I'm not seeing him here. And actually, he was old enough. Where'd that go? Military.
Are you recording this?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I got it a little late, but we're doing it. Okay, that's that. And then Texas tax rolls. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So I can find him in the tax rolls. In Smith County. Through 1910. See what this has to look like. He's kind of in the middle. Oh, I put all the L's together. Well, poo. And they didn't abstract that right. Do you read that, what I read? Mrs. CE. That's the wife. I wonder if they all read that way. Interesting tidbit. Let's go to 8. When I do tax rolls, instead of getting every single one of them, unless they have other information on them, I look at them, but I don't pull all but the first one and the last one to give you the time range. Good grief. Oh, he's up a ways. And there he is right above the same. But that's not Mrs. So they were in Deaf Smith in 1910. Go back to census and see if I can find that 1910 one. And by the time they did the census, he was in Harris County, not Deaf Smith. However, now that I have that Deaf Smith record, I'm going to go look in that. So when I go back over here, I'm actually going to do a right mouse click on the census 1910 and open it and do a search for Lester's in the residence of Deaf Smith. Well, that's interesting. Where's birth? Well, there aren't. Yeah. So he wasn't there at the census time. They had already moved. Okay. Close that window. Close that. All right, now that I have found all these goodies, I need to enter them into the database. But before I do that, I want to show you that from this window, you can do ancestries. You're going to leave and go to a partner site. Pull this into a new window. And here you go. This is what Ancestry found. And I don't think this is the right person. It's not, because he's not married. Because it gives the name and address of someone who will know where you are, who is not a direct relationship. Here's a newspapers.com obituary. I'm going to open this in a new tab. This actually gives you some information. If you have full-blown newspapers.com and not part of the multi-subscription pack that Ancestry has with Fold 3 and newspapers.com. You can see that the obituary, if you don't have it, the full-blown one, you can't see the obituary. And this only includes his survivors, a widow, Ida, which we know he was married to Margaret, a daughter, Margaret Patton, which we know he had a daughter from the 1910, a sister, Esther Monk, a son, Orrin of Texas. So that's pretty helpful. You can clip these and look at it. You can either print it, edit it, share it, download it. I download it. And my window to name it comes up. And I have to navigate to where I want to keep it. It does have some information in here already, but I don't like this format. So there it is. I'm going to name it Clarence Eugene Lester Obit Palm Beach Post. March 1965. Page 2. And I'm actually going to copy this string. Well, the whole thing. Click Save. Now, over here under him, I'm going to add a fact by clicking the plus. Obituary is one of the defaults that are in there. I said it was 31 March 1965. Come on. All right, it's decided to be rude. I've got to fix this. I don't have the format right. West Palm Beach. Family Tree Maker has a Places Authority database. So if you start typing, it's going to pop up a name that is in their database for you. You want to pick one from that so you keep your places fairly clean. You're going to click New. And I don't have it already in here, so I'm going to click New. And it's obituary. All I'm going to put, and then on the source citate, okay. And then I'm going to click under citation detail and paste that string, except for, I'm going to take out the word obit. Then I'm going to go to media, attach new media. And it takes me to the last place I was working. So I have to go find this one. And where'd it go? Oh, it did it as a PDF. I'm going to link this, but normally I would open it, strip it, and make it a JPEG. But if you don't have software to do it easy, it's a little more complicated. So I'm going to go on and do this one and click OK. And from that obituary. There you go. We know he had a son, Orrin. And you want to do a source, use existing source citation. The one that is highlighted was the last one you put in. So you can do link to citation. And he had a daughter, Margaret. Same thing. Use existing source. It's going to be on the same source that you just entered the new one until you change it and put another new one in. Then you want to choose a spouse and you want to add one because he is married currently to Ida. And you want to add the source to her. So now all those people are under that source. So if you go to sources and look at obituary, under this one, it's linked to Ida, Margaret, and Orrin in his obituary. So I'll probably need to go back and put it on his name too. So you make sure you've got it all linked to the same thing. Now he's got two sources, so when it drops down, you now see Ancestry.com's death certificate. That's his son's death certificate and his obituary. It doesn't mention anything about his prior son, other children that predeceased him, because that obituary said he died in 1965. So I'm done with this one. Close that. Is that? Okay. And see, here's the some of the same ones I found in Family Search. I'm finding over here, except here's a World War I one that I didn't find easily in Family Search, but I found over here. So there it is for him. And it gives me an actual birth date for him, only it's wrong because he was on the 1880 census. But I know it's him because that's the wife. So maybe people have this wrong online by making him being born in January of 78. And there is a lot of people out there. Clarence is a very common name. I want to do something, look for something and see if people have this wrong. Because There are multiple Clarence Eugenes born in Indiana. That one says Sullivan. That one says Sullivan. Two different places in Sullivan. That guy goes to Abraham. And that one is with nobody. He's a single person. Let's see what this image says. And this image says Indiana, Indiana, Indiana. I think that's the same guy. And besides, remember the obit said he had a sister, Esther. There's Esther. So she is a sister. So this is the right family for our guy. But that doesn't explain this. At all. But it is January 13th. Everything has been consistent with the January 13th. Just not 83. And this is why you have to constantly recheck your stuff. Can't tell you how many times I have redone stuff because something goes haywire. But that obit was very helpful. So I'm going to go back to this page. So any of these searches that are over here, you can actually do and see what they show. It'll tell you you're going to out of family search. But it does populate it for you. So if you're having trouble with things not populating correctly, you might can get to it pretty easy through family search. And you want to try that. I'd like to know who the Chester E is. Anyway, there's not a whole lot in Find My Past. Now that's a subscription website, so so is MyHeritage. I don't know anything about these two. They've added those. Those weren't there a few months ago. We'll click on it, see what they are. Well, they're not showing anything. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a British site. This is another place that has trees. So just be aware that there's a lot of different things out there. You don't really want to put your tree anywhere that somebody can change it or add to it without going through you. Which family search, anybody can change it. Whether they know the individual or not, they do not have to verify it with anybody. They just can change it. So be careful. And even here, they don't know when she died. See, I find it odd that we can't find, I've got a marriage record for this couple, but I can't find where she died. I can't find, let's see what this is. Come on, go. But there again, it's a tree. It's probably the same tree. Well, it's not liking me now. And I can't log in here from this way. So let me see if I can do it from over here. There we go. Let's do search. Well, it's not going to let me open it in a new window. That's weird. See if it's going to make me. No, it didn't make me log in, so I don't know why Family Tree Maker isn't working. But if you go to Ancestry, you're going to have the populated area. Roots Web, well, it filled that part out. So I'm going to click search and hope that it doesn't lock me up again. See, it's not going to where it's supposed to go. So whatever they have in there, I wonder if I can edit it. No. It's not going to let me edit that URL for that, but that's a bad URL, so you can't use it. And I'm going to go to search other people. It's not moving. Open a new link. I'm going to go back to Clarence though instead of Margaret. If you do phonetic, you can pick fuzzy and other things to let it help you. You can do plus or minus, whatever you want. I'm going to put Indiana and click search. Is it working? Yeah, it comes. This is what I don't like. Used to, it would come up with your hits, and it would tell you what they had that was available in it or for it. So, like, I'm going to look at him. Father, mother, doesn't really have children or anything, so it doesn't help you. 1900 census. That's 1900 ancestry trees. Kind of have to throw those out with the bat out because you don't know how they were sourced. I have an ancestor that had an actual birth date on the record on a tree. Everybody has since taken it off because nobody could find where that date came from. So you kind of have to realize that that may be happening. And that's the only one that's out there. So I'm going to close that. So I'm not re-looking at it. All right. So now I'm going to start adding these sources. This is the 1910 census. So I'm going to download it. I'm going to name it Clarence Eugene. Oops. Family, because it's got him and other people, or his wife and children. If he was just by himself, like he was working, like he was on that one census in 1900, where he was in two places really. The one that where he was by himself, I would not put family in there. I would just put census and the year and the place. Oops, I did that backwards. Save. I'm going to come over. Oops, I don't know why I did that. I keep hitting the wrong button. Come back over here to him. And I'm going to go to the person tab now to add this census. Oops, add, hit the plus. It's a residence for 1910, Harris County, Texas. And I'm going to click new. And it is a new source. Open, stupid. It's a 1910 census, United States Census. It's always good to put the word United States, even though you can make that assumption. But there are censuses in other countries that you might someday get into. So if you differentiate them now, you won't have to go back and change it later, because there are censuses for England for 1901 and 1911. You have it, same thing for Ireland. There are some from the 1820s in Germany. So be aware that you might have other censuses from other places in the world. So use United States. And then I'm going to put in citation detail the name that is on this census, which, oops, here, is C.U. Lester. That's crazy. C.U. Lester. But that's the way it was indexed. And then in Harris County. There's another way of doing this, and I will show you that with the 1900 census. So now I'm going to click Media, Attach New Media. Go find my image. There it is. And it's linked to the source. And then I'm going to click OK. Now, on this census, it has that he was 29 years old, born in 1881 in Indiana. So I'm going to add a birth, 1881 in Indiana. Oops. And I'm going to source it using an existing source. And you can see it is selected. So I can just link it to that citation. I'm going to put it on this one too. I'm not going to put Clarence U because I know it was Eugene. But I think some people in some places were spelling it just Ugene and didn't put the E in front of it. So I'm going to go back to my I'm going to go back to the tree now and open his wife because she's on this record. Come on, go to person. And I'm going to paste it on her. I'm going to add it to her, use existing source. Come on, work. I'm going to add a birth for her. She was born in 1890 in Texas. And I'm going to use the same existing source. And that needs to get deleted. I don't know what happened there. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to tree. Because on this census record, there's Margaret, spelled just like her mother. She was born in 1909 in Texas. So I'm going to go to her because I've kind of already added her, but I'm going to fix her name to be spelled like her mother's because I'm sure she was named after her mother. And I'm going to use existing. I'm going to go back because you can add in birth and death and marriage on this front screen if that's all you're dealing with. 1909 in Texas. And over here, you have to click on this little square icon to add. That's places. Never mind. That was the wrong place. Good grief, Teresa. People. I want this little icon that disappears. That's the source. Use existing. Link to citation. And we also see in this census record an Everett Matson. And he is listed as a stepbrother. Now, you don't know if that's her stepbrother or his, and it might be that it was, instead of her stepbrother and a brother-in-law. But we're not even going to include him because we'll have to work more records. Just kind of tuck that little fact back in your head and remember it. I'm going to close that so I know that I've already entered it. I'm going to close that window. I'm not going to enter these tax rolls right now. Let me go to this 1900 census where he is a kiddo. So I'm going to download this. Only now this is his father. And I know from other records his middle name is E-B-E-N-C-E. Abraham Ebenezer. It's a family record again. With family search, they kind of make it easy because they stick where the census is right there. Now, if you've got a town name, you want to go on and enter the town name and then the county. I don't do the districts and stuff because those districts changed all the time. They did not stay consistent. And if you don't have a map for that census year, you don't know where they were anyway. So I don't do that. All right, so that one's downloaded. And I'm going to add his dad. Abraham. Okay. And I'm going to go to the person screen now. Come back over here, and I'm going to scroll. Well, there's Abraham. And it said he was a widow, or he was widowed. He was 46 years old. He was born in April 1854. So I'm going to add his birth. April 1854 in Indiana. I'm going to add the residence for 1900 in Sullivan. And I'm going to add a source, new. And I don't have 1900, so I'm going to create a new one. I don't put a repository because census records can be found in multiple places. They're available from TextShare, through Heritage Quest. They're available through Ancestry, Family Search, even Find My Past has censuses, and some other repositories too. So I don't put that information there anymore. And this is Abram. They spelled it weird. E. Lester in Sullivan County, Indiana. And I'm going to add that media that I just downloaded. And click OK. And now since I've just entered it, I am going to use it and paste it on his name, his birth date, and that location. I'm going to come over here. His wife was dead. There we go. Monty P. Lester and Clarence are children. Monty was born February 76 in Indiana. And while we're here, we're going to go to that invisible little button and use existing. Oh. And then on clearance, I'm going to go use existing. And then we're going to add the other kiddos. He had a Margaret E., October 82. And after you hit enter, notice the cursor moves to the birthplace, so you can automatically do the date. And you add your use existing. And then you've got Esther. Did they spell that with the A? No. Esther S., April 55. And source it. Back over here. And you've got Emma M. She's got a different last name, but it says it's his daughter. She was born in January 80. And source it. And it's automatically putting them in order, date order of their birthdays. Oops, I hit the wrong thing. He was born January 78. See that? Oops, wrong person. All right, that's more right. All right, tree. So Emma married, because his name is on here, Franklin S. Triplett. And he was born 13 January. No, I'm in the wrong place. Good grief. Where did he? Did I close that window? No, I hit the wrong button. March 79. And they had just gotten married. That's why you have that. And he was born in Missouri. And you're going to source him the same way. And you can put that they got married in 1900 and source that as well. Well, that's not doing what we're supposed to do. Okay, thanks. All right. Now that all of that is there, I forgot to show y'all something that in person on the residence. I'm going to right mouse click on this and click on copy. I'm going to come back over here to tree and pick Monty and go to his person space and click paste. Now it comes up with all of his options, or all the people that are related to him. It might be better to do it though on Emma because she got married. And if I do the paste on her, her husband's name show up. So I can check all these people are on the census with him. Click OK, and it will add the residents to all of them. So that's an easy, fast way of adding residents for that census to all of the people. So like with Clarence a while ago, we had the 1910 census. If I copy it and go to his wife and paste it on her, I can put their child there. And this is what makes me wonder if this whole thing is right. But these are the names that are on his death certificate. The other thing I want to say before we close this out, under person, the media will have nothing in this field on this particular in the person page unless you have media attached to the person. But if you go to the tree side and look at the scrapbook, you will find the media that's attached to sources that's attached to the person. So if that concludes our day today, I'll make a note of where we are, and I will see y'all next month. And I have to figure out how to, there we go. Stop recording.
This has been a production of the Dallas Genealogical Society. If you're already a member, thank you. If you're not a member, please consider joining now by going to dallasgenealogy.com and clicking on the Membership tab. Your membership dues will help us support the genealogy section of the Dallas Public Library, and it will allow us to continue our education and preservation efforts.